Hi everyone, it's Keira and welcome back to my channel. So we have just watched the Portuguese Grand Prix and honestly it wasn't too bad. It was a little bit confusing. We thought we were going to get a two-stopper, then some people two-stopped and it didn't work. So inevitably the fastest way around was a one-stopper. But overall the race was okay, it was good. I enjoyed it, we had some good battles. And yeah, we've came out of it with Hamilton now officially breaking the record for the most amount of wins in Formula 1. So for today's video, I'm doing my tail end race review for the Portuguese Grand Prix. And yeah, let's just start off with a couple of points I picked up from the race that I think we should talk about. But before we get into it, if you do enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. And I also just want to say a massive thank you. I have now hit 4,000 subscribers on this channel. I just think that's absolutely incredible. I'm so grateful for every single one of you that follow and enjoy my content. But yeah, anyway, let's just get started. The first person I'm going to talk about is Lance Stroll. So Lance Stroll actually qualified P12. He didn't have a very good qualifying session. I don't know whether he got caught out with the Daniel Ricciardo incident where Daniel just spun and I don't even know what he was doing. So he started P12, wasn't great when Sergio Perez, his teammate, started P5, but nevertheless, started P12. Start went quite well, you know, he was up, you know, in the points, battling it out with like Lando, Gasly, whoever else was around that area. And then, you know, he's going quite fast. The McLarens are losing pace, like the McLarens are falling behind quickly. So Lance, you know, makes a dive down turn one as expected, you know, as a lot of people were doing this weekend, but there just wasn't quite the room. So he's going down the outside. There is no way is there a car's width there. Like Lando was pretty much planted in the middle of the track, which was absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that. He didn't even move under braking, I don't think. I think Lando just held his position. I think Lance, don't think Lance really meant to go for that move. I feel like he kind of outbraked himself a little bit and was like, oh my God, I've got to go one way. Tried to go around the outside of him, kind of then thought going into turn one, like, oh, maybe I've actually made this. And then takes the corner, which he just should not have taken that corner like that, especially when you've just done an incident like this. Takes the corner, obviously Lando is still there. So Lando kind of clips Lance, which was kind of Lance's fault, and Lance goes spinning and breaks both of their front wings and ruins both of their races. And at the time I was like, Lance, what the hell are you doing? Like, honestly, what are you doing? I don't know, it was a bit of a clumsy move from Lance Stroll. I think he was obviously quite desperate to get around the McLaren, but the DRS is so strong down into turn one, I really don't think he needed to push like that because like, I just don't feel like it was really necessary. You would have got Lando in the next lap if you didn't then. So it was a silly mistake and inevitably it ruined his race because he was then like, what was he down in like P20 for the rest of the race? Pitted again, then he kept going wide, then he got another, he got a 5-second penalty for it, can we say? 5-second penalty for that. Then he started going wide, then he got another 5-second penalty for that. It was just all a bit of a mess really, running in P20. Lando started making positions up, whereas Lance just then kept doing more pit stops and just wasn't making up any places at all. He was literally P20 every single time I looked at the graphics. So unfortunately, ruined his race there. And eventually on lap 54, they retired him. I think this is the fourth race now that Lance either hasn't started or hasn't finished a race. So it's not going well for him, especially this is, you know, this isn't helping the fight with Racing Point and getting that P3 in the championship. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't really know what Lance was doing today. We had a little bit of an iffy one and I think it is one to forget. Hopefully he moves on to Imola and does a little bit better. Okay, so the next point I'm going to make is Alex Albon. Now, we know Alex has been a little bit more like a touch and go situation recently. Sometimes he's done well, like his podium he got, where did he even get that podium? I can't even remember. But when he got his maiden podium in Formula 1, but since then, recently he's just been dropping down. Now, I'm a firm believer in that Red Bull car being designed for Max Verstappen, and I completely get that it's going to be more difficult for Alex. But I kind of look at it and think you are taking the mick a little bit. He was really not on it today again. Helmut and Christian have both came out and said, we will be assessing how Alex does in the next couple of races and we will make our decision for our 2021 lineup from those races. So they're either going to go with Pierre Gasly again, or they're going to stick with Alex Albon, or they're going to go outside maybe with Nico Hülkenberg. This is a big moment for Alex and he just seems to be dropping and dropping and dropping, and it's so worrying to see because he's got talent, he's got pace, but it's just, I'm looking at him thinking, what on earth are you doing? He was stuck in P11 for like the whole race. He literally could not get past Kimi Raikkonen at all. Like, could not. He must have been behind Kimi Raikkonen for the longest time. Bear in mind, this is the Alfa Romeo, which is one of the slowest cars on the grid. Sometimes it is slower than the Williams. I just don't understand how he was so stuck behind this Alfa Romeo for the longest time, and then he ended up dropping behind Kimi, like even further. The gap was getting bigger and bigger. I was like, I just don't understand what you're doing. So around 20 laps to the end, Alex then did pit onto softs to hopefully, you know, bring it back up. And obviously I get that now he's done, I think he'd done a 2-stopper rather than Max doing a 1-stopper, but Max still, you know, lapped him. And I think they were just trying to think, what can we do with Alex? So I thought, well, we'll put him on some softs, hopefully he'll build his way up, like up the field. He didn't. Now we know the softs were a little bit iffy, but I mean, if you're putting softs on for the last however many laps, you should be able to go for it. So yeah, it just did not work for Alex today, ended up coming home P12. And when you see people like Pierre Gasly coming home in P5, it's a worry for Alex. It really is a worry. His Red Bull shouldn't be that far down. Obviously I get the situation with the Red Bull being made for Max, but he still shouldn't be that far down. So yeah, another bad day for Alex Albon. But yeah, the race other than that was a little bit, not dead. It wasn't too bad. I think we had things going on. But the race start was really good when Carlos Sainz took the lead for about 5 laps. That was amazing. Don't know why the Mercedes couldn't stick, but then McLaren's went for it. I think Lando was up to P4 as well, so that was really good. Quick shout out to Sergio Perez, who I actually voted for my driver of the day. He obviously had that incident with Max Verstappen at the start where Max kind of clipped him, but kind of Checo didn't give enough room. Was a racing incident. I agree with the stewards there. But to come back up, where did he come back up to? Like P7? He only got caught by the likes of Gasly and Sainz in the last couple of laps. But to build himself back up was incredible. So big shout out to Checo. That was amazing. I don't even know how we done that. But he was definitely my driver of the day. On lap 35, we had a great battle between Esteban Ocon and Sergio Perez. It's really good to see Ocon do this because I feel like he definitely has not shown his talent this year like he did a couple of years ago in Force India. And for me, it was just, I've always known Esteban's been able to do it. So it's nice for him to show off his talent a little bit this year, especially as there are rumours that he may be losing his seat in the next year or two. So yeah, that was a good battle in the middle as well. And coming on to my final point, which is Lewis Hamilton has now broken Michael Schumacher's record of the most amount of Formula 1 Grand Prix wins. Now, it was really good when he equaled it the other week, but actually to have now broken it and just I'm gonna cry again. To see like the graphic move over when they were both on 91 to Lewis just go over to 92 just sent me. I just started crying. Like it's just such a big moment. I think people don't understand that we are literally watching history be made. Like people are gonna look back on this like in 20 years time and think, oh my God, like some people will be like, I wish I was there, or I wish I was more present at that time. So I'm just making sure I live in this moment and realize what we are watching. And I urge you all to do that as well, because it was crazy. Big props to Lewis, amazing, and big props to Mercedes, you know. Wow. So yeah, overall I'll probably give the race like a 6 out of 10. I don't think it was really bad, but at the same time it wasn't amazing. Okay, so moving on to my predictions now. So I made my predictions last week at the German Grand Prix or the Eiffel Grand Prix for this week, and let's see if I got any right. So for qualifying, I said Lewis Hamilton would get pole position, Valtteri Bottas would get P2, and Lando Norris would get P3. Don't know why, I thought that McLaren would be quite fast this weekend, but it wasn't really, apart from the first like 5 laps of the race. The qualifying results was actually Lewis Hamilton P1, which qualifying was amazing, wasn't it? Valtteri Bottas P2 and Max Verstappen in P3. For the race, I said Valtteri Bottas would win. I said Lewis Hamilton would be P2 and Max Verstappen would be P3. I think I've been putting a lot of effort, no, that's not a word, a lot of hope in Valtteri Bottas recently in my predictions, but I don't know why I bother because Lewis is going to win, isn't he? And as he did today with Lewis Hamilton winning over Valtteri Bottas and Max Verstappen in P3. For fastest lap, I thought it was going to be Valtteri Bottas. I think I was going with like the win and then the fastest lap being Valtteri Bottas, but actually it was Lewis Hamilton who got the fastest lap. And to retire first, I said Carlos Sainz. Again, I don't know why, but it was actually Lance Stroll. But we weren't actually going to have any retirements up until the last moment when they just retired Lance for damage and just, you know, might as well save things when he's running in P20. So my predictions for Imola next weekend, obviously it's a 2-day weekend. It's going to be a little bit different. We're not going to see as much track action. We are literally just going to go pretty much straight into Saturday. And I can't wait for it. Really can't wait for it. So for qualifying, I've said Lewis Hamilton is going to get pole position. I've said Max Verstappen is going to be P2. And I've said Valtteri Bottas is going to be P3. Now, I've said this because I feel like Max is getting closer and closer to these Mercedes. I would just like to see him pick one of those, and I feel like it probably would be Valtteri if it was one of them. For the race, I've said Lewis Hamilton is going to win, Valtteri Bottas is going to be P2, and Max Verstappen in P3. Honestly, I'd love to go out of the boat a little bit more, but honestly, that just is the top 3 in that order as well. For fastest lap, I've said Lewis Hamilton. I think he's just going to do the whole 26 points. And to retire first, I've said Dani Kvyat. Not sure why. Might just get himself in a situation. So there we have it. That is it for my tail end race review for the Portuguese Grand Prix. I hope you did enjoy the Grand Prix, and I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe down below. I've got loads of new content coming out soon. I've got lots of collaborations coming out soon, so I'm really excited for all of those. So please subscribe to keep in the loop with all things like that. Yeah, thanks again for watching my video, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.